Hello, my dear students. I hope everybody is doing good. Today, we are going to start a new chapter, that is laws of motion. Now, as you all know, motion, any object that is moving with respect to the surrounding is considered to be it's considered to be a moving object. Now, a train moving on a track, bus going on a road, aeroplane flying in the sky, all are the example of the moving object. Some object we do not see, even if it is moving, we do not see, like air, breeze, the blood flowing in your body, that we all know that it is flowing, it is moving, but we don't see. Okay, so any object which is moving with respect to the surrounding is a moving object. Now, motion is a relative concept. What is relative? Why I am calling it as a relative concept, you will understand now. Now, imagine yourself sitting in a car and you are going on a road. Okay, now you are sitting and the driver who is driving the car, you both are in on your seat. So you both assume you are sitting in your place and you are not moving. But a person standing outside the road, he is seeing that a car is moving, and you people who are sitting inside the car is also moving. Okay, so with respect to that person, you both are moving, and respect to you, he is moving backward, but he is standing there. So are you getting it? Like, if you consider the driver and yourself in a moving car, you both are stationary with respect to one another. But a person standing outside, he's just standing, he's not moving. Standing outside, he sees the car is moving and both of you are also moving with respect to him. And you also consider, with respect to you, he is also moving in a backward direction. So this is a relative concept. A motion is determined with relation to something, with related to the surrounding. Okay, so it is a relative concept. Now, coming to the topic distance and displacement. Now here one example is given to you. Sheetal and Prashant's house, if you see there. Now Sheetal is taking the route that is she goes to her friend's house, that is Sangeeta. 500 meters she travels, and then from there she goes to her school, that is 1200 meter. So total she is traveling 500 plus 12, that is 1700 meter. Whereas there is one boy, Prashant, he is also traveling from his house to the school, and he takes just 1300 meter to cover this from house to school. Now, if you see, this 500 plus 1200 is 1700 is the actual distance, because this is the length of actual path which is covered by Sheetal, and the shortest distance which is covered by Prashant becomes the displacement. From the starting point to finishing point, that is house to school, the shortest distance traveled by any object becomes the displacement. Now, another example I can give you. Let's just assume there is a circular park, okay, and one girl used to walk every day in that circular park. The radius of that park is 100 meter. Okay, now starting point from where, like point A, you keep the starting point, and after finishing one complete round, that girl will end at point A itself, because she has to take one circle round. So where she is starting, she will end there only, right? So if you have to calculate the total distance what she walks in one particular circular lawn, that will be the circumference of that circular lawn, that is pi r square. That means 22 upon 7 into radius that I have told you, 100 meter, that is 100 into 100. So whatever is the answer becomes the distance that she traveled. But what about the displacement? I told you it is the minimum or the shortest distance traveled by an object. So from the starting to finishing point. So starting point is A and finishing point is also A, so there is no distance traveled, so here the displacements become 0. Okay, now another example, if a car is moving from point A to point B, okay, and it covers 100 meter, it goes from A to B 100 meter and it comes back, so 100 plus 100 becomes 200. It is the actual distance traveled by that car is 200 meter. While if you have to consider the displacement, what would be the displacement, student? Yes, it would be 0 because the starting point and the finishing point is the same. So here the displacement is 0. So remember that even if the displacement of an object is 0, the actual distance traveled by it may not be 0. Now, before starting the speed and velocity, I would like to give you a concept of scalar quantity and vector quantity. Now, what are scalar quantity? The examples are speed, distance, time, which has only the value, which has only the magnitude, but it doesn't have any direction. Okay, so if I tell you any distance like 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 5,000 kilometer, it just tells the value that this much distance is there. It is not specifying in which direction, 5 kilometer in which direction. Okay, time 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so it is not specifying any direction. Whereas the displacement, velocity, it has its value, it has its magnitude, as well as it has also direction. Okay, that you will understand further. Now let's talk about speed. Speed is the total distance traveled upon time required. So if you have to calculate the speed, the total distance traveled by that object and how much time is taken, that you divide and you get the speed. Okay, and for velocity we don't have to see the distance, it should be displacement. So velocity is equal to displacement upon time. Now the unit for both speed and velocity in SI unit is meter per second, whereas CGS is centimeter per second. So remember that, students, speed is related to distance, whereas velocity is related to displacement. Now what if a body is moving in a straight line? So in straight line, if body is moving, so the distance and displacement both become same, right? So there will be the same speed and velocity. Now going back to that Sheetal and Prashant thing example, if you have to calculate here velocity and speed, how would you calculate? Will you calculate this way the velocity or this way the velocity? So velocity is displacement upon time. So the velocity will be calculated by 1300 upon whatever time is taken by that boy, that is Prashant. Okay, so this will be taken as for velocity, whereas whatever Sheetal has traveled, that is 500 plus 1200, 1700 upon whatever time she takes, that will be taken for the speed calculation. So speed is distance traveled upon time and velocity is displacement upon time. Now what is the effect of speed and direction on velocity? Okay, now anything which is moving, so it is acquiring its speed and velocity. Now if the speed is increase or decrease, of course the velocity is going to change. If the speed is more, velocity will be more. If speed is less, the velocity will be also less. What if the direction, the speed remains same, the direction of that moving object change? I told you it is a vector quantity, velocity is a vector quantity, so it will be dependent on both the value, the speed, as well as the direction. So if speed remains same and direction changes, velocity changes. Now what if both changes, the speed is changing and velocity is changing? So of course velocity will also change. So if speed is changing, velocity will be changed. Direction is changing, velocity will be changed. If both are changing, speed as well as velocity, speed as well as direction, then velocity, of course, it will change. The first person who determined who measured the speed in terms of distance upon time was Galileo. Okay, so this is the insight that we have got. Now coming to the uniform and non-uniform linear motion. Okay, Now any object which is traveling in like equal distance in equal time interval, those kind of motion are known as uniform motion. I repeat, any object traveling equal distance in equal time interval, such motion are called as uniform motion. Whereas any object which travel unequal distance in equal time interval, such motion are known as non-uniform motion. Now in your book, there is one example of Amar, Akbar, Anthony is given. If you see on page number 4, there is one table, and in that table the time, the extreme left time is given, and the 3 columns Amar, Akbar, Anthony, their distance is written. Okay, so time interval is half an hour. If you see 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, so the time interval is here half an hour. Now look into Amar's thing. So at 5 o'clock he is starting the journey, and at 5:30 he covered 20 kilometer. Okay, because here it is 20 written. Again in half an hour he covered again the 20 kilometers, so it becomes 40 kilometer in total. Again it becomes 60, that means 20 kilometers he has traveled. Now if you see at Anthony, he travels from 5 to 5:30 14 kilometer, from 5:30 to 6 28 kilometer. If you see, 14 plus 14 is 28. Now another half an hour he covered 42 kilometer. Okay, that means 14 kilometer again he traveled. So he's traveling equal distance, that is 14 14 14 in equal time interval, that is half an hour he also. But let's check about the Akbar. Now here 0 to 18, 18 to 36, till here it is fine, 18, 18, 36. Now if you see here, it is just 6 kilometer he traveled in next half an hour, that is 36 to 42, it's just 6 kilometer. And then from 42 kilometer he is going 70 kilometer. Okay, so if you calculate, the distance traveled by him is unequal. So his motion is non-uniform motion, whereas Amar and Anthony motion is uniform motion. By this time I am sure that you must be understanding that what is uniform motion and what is a non-uniform motion. Now next is acceleration. Now acceleration is nothing but it is changing of the velocity as per time. Now imagine yourself, you must have slide in a garden. Okay, so you are on the top of the slide. What is the velocity at that time? It is 0, right? You have not started yet, you're just sitting and you're about to start, so your velocity is 0. Now if you're starting, your velocity increases, right? At the middle it is increasing, still increasing, and at the end, as you just end the slide, your velocity becomes 0. So you can understand, from starting it is 0 when you're sitting and you're about to start. So then if you're starting, your velocity increases and it becomes maximum just ending your slide, right? So it becomes the initial velocity at the top and the final velocity at the bottom. So initial velocity here in this case is 0, and final velocity here in this case is also 0 in the slide. Okay, so you have the velocity in between these 2 points, the initial and the final point. Okay, so acceleration is nothing, it is just the rate of change of velocity. Okay, now acceleration is calculated by final velocity minus initial velocity upon time, that is v minus u. V is final velocity and u is initial velocity. That if you minus it, if you subtract it and divide it by time, how much time it takes to cover that much distance, that becomes the acceleration. Acceleration is also vector quantity because it is related to velocity. That means direction will be there, so it is also a vector quantity. Now you have here also uniform accelerated motion and non-uniform accelerated motion. Now if you are sitting in a car and the driver who is driving the car accelerate, okay, we call it accelerate meaning increasing the speed. So if he is increasing the speed in equal time interval, so that is uniform accelerated motion. And if the velocity is changing in unequal manner, that means first he is changing 5 km per hour and then maybe 10, and then again slowing down 7, and then again increasing 8 km per hour. So like that, if it is changing unequally, then it will be non-uniform accelerated motion. Otherwise, if it is going like 5 and then again 5, like 5 ka 10, 10 ka 15, 15 ka 20, so like that, if speed is increasing, that will be the uniform accelerated motion. Now acceleration could be of three types: positive, negative and zero acceleration. Positive acceleration meaning if the speed is increasing, so it will be a positive acceleration. Whereas negative acceleration, if a body is moving and suddenly it has to stop, or there is a speed breaker, so it has to decelerate, it has to put a leg on a brake so that the speed goes down. Okay, so such velocity is such acceleration is known as negative acceleration. Also it is known as deceleration. Okay, and what about zero? If the velocity of the object does not change with the time, it just maintaining the same velocity throughout, so such acceleration is zero acceleration. Now we'll keep it till here. So I hope you all have understood laws of motion. What we have studied today is the relative concept of motion, where motion is determined by relation to something, your surrounding thing. And then we have talked about displacement and distance, where displacement is the shortest distance traveled by an object. Then we saw speed and velocity, where speed is related to distance traveled, whereas velocity is related to the displacement. The SI unit of speed and velocity is meter per second, whereas CGS unit is centimeter per second. All right, and the effect of speed and direction on velocity, as you all know, that if speed is changing, the velocity will change, as well as the direction if change, the velocity will also change. Then we have seen uniform and non-uniform motion, where the distance travel, equal distance travel in equal time interval, that is uniform motion, whereas unequal distance travel in equal time interval, that would be non-uniform motion. Acceleration, it is the rate of change of velocity, that is change in velocity upon time, and it is denoted by small a, where final velocity minus initial velocity upon time is acceleration. Acceleration unit also is meter per second square. It is also a vector quantity. And uniform and non-uniform acceleration is the same thing, where equal velocity change in equal time interval is uniform accelerated motion, whereas unequal velocity change in equal time interval is non-accelerated motion. Now there are three types of accelerated motion: positive, negative and zero. Positive, when the velocity increases, it is a positive acceleration. When the velocity decreases, it is a negative acceleration. And when the velocity doesn't change with time, then it is a zero acceleration. So with this, I end here. Thank you so much.